करते हैं ना।
मैं बोलती हूँ इधर ही लिखना।
हाँ
इधर ही बोलती हूँ।
अच्छा ठीक है। और उधर का लिखना बोलिए।
बोल बता।
हाँ
बता।
वाटरमेलन के बारे में लिखा हुआ।
बताइए ना।
वाटरमेलन के बारे में है।
I eat watermelon.
राइट ए वाटरमेलन एंड ये क्या वेदर वाटर 6 लाइन्स अबाउट इट है ना। तो वाटरमेलन के बारे में लिखना है। लिख तो एप्पल को लिख दो। एप्पल को लिख दिए।
ये एप्पल का
हाँ नो राइट few lines on an apple. This is apple.
ये एप्पल का है।
It's red in color.
Red.
Sorry students, my video was. I just give me a few minutes. My video is.
Yes. एप्पल के बारे में लिख दीजिए। हाँ
Yeah.
चलिए।
The camera didn't get connected for some reason.
सो जाइए फिर।
I'm going to make. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
हाँ
Hello.
हेलो।
Now I'm going to change my audio also. It should be real.
लो मोजा पहन लीजिए मनीष। मोजा पहन ले ठंडा नहीं लगेगा। मोजा को पहन लीजिए ठंडा नहीं लगेगा। हाँ किधर
I wish there was some way of blurring the background, but this app does not have it. We'll get started in a few minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and we'll get started. I'm sorry for being late. I was stuck somewhere. Today we have user registration and user login as the concept. Ekta's error got resolved. How did it got resolved? Ekta? What did you do? Can you remind me of the error? Yes, good evening, Vivek. I talked to the person in the team and they are saying some problem is from your internet. Some kind of internet issue is there from your side, because on our side it is going well. Anyways. Okay. Maybe you can get a good internet. That's the first thing you can do. That's the first thing you can do to learn in this online mode, to get a good internet. Internet provider issue. Oh. Okay.
किसका पैर है? मनीष का छोटा छोटा इतना छोटा छोटा। मनीष का इतना छोटा छोटा पैर है।
Mine also. I replaced localhost with IP address. Then okay. Good. Who was taking the doubt session? Mayank Best. Okay. Where was the spelling mistake? Sorry for spelling this. Oh, anyways.
उल्बी ने डाला है
So I'll just talk about. I'll get started with today's lecture, and from today onwards, we will actually be building our app. Every day, we are going to build a little bit of app, and we'll see how it pans out in the long run. Okay. So today's topic is mongoose command in progress for last 25 minutes. Why is that, Nazmi? Why is that command in progress for last 25 minutes? It should not be like that. You might be locking. You might be creating some kind of lock. Maybe you are running some. Were you running that command before also? Have you run that command 2-3 times? Maybe you have logged it in memory. I mean, it typically happens when your document gets a lock and then another process is trying to access that same document. For example, I try to find something. I try to update a document, and while I was updating, I abort the process in such a manner by clicking Control X, and then what happens afterwards is that that process has not logged that file, and now any other process will not be able to open it. That's the only scenario where that can happen. So try to see if any process is locking any resources on your computer. Okay, Nazmin? Yeah, that's one thing you can try. Okay, so web security and authentication. You know all the, you know how it is these days. You need security on whenever you are surfing on web. Most of the attacks that happen. So there are cyber criminals all over the world, and these are graduates from computer science, and what happens is they don't get job or they think they can earn easy money by doing some cyber crime, so they get into these crimes. And so 99.9% of these attacks happen on the internet, because most of the frauds that you'll see will happen on the internet. Out of these frauds, most of these, like a lot of them, happen on the DNS services. Okay, whatever services are served by the DNS servers, because most of the traffic that goes on the network can be heard by some eve teaser, and that eve teaser can basically look at your document. So an important part of the whole process is to have security, and there are two phases of security. I'll talk about both of them. First is authentication, and second is authorization. Can somebody tell me the difference between the two? And backend is, if you are doing coding in backend, then understanding the difference between these two is a good idea. Authentication is who you are. Okay? That's a good thing. Who are you? That is authentication. Uh, who are you? That is like, if I send my username, then I'm mentioning that I am, suppose I send a username to my service that I'm unsure, then I'm telling my service that the person that I am is unsure. Okay, so that's how I tell the service. And then authorization is, once authentication is complete, uh, the service will tell me what can you do. So it can tell you can open, you can do CRUD operation, or you can delete the DB itself, delete DB, or you can have different levels of access management, and that is called as authorization. Who can access the service? Who can access the service, and what part of the services can a person access? So identify who are you, and I'll tell you what all you can do with your rights, usage rights. That's authorization and authentication. Now, do you remember there was this discussion? There must have been a discussion about MVC. Have there been a discussion about MVC? Can you tell me what is that? And model view control. Okay, so there's this concept of model view control. Why do we need this concept? This concept helps us in creating a structured program. Easy to maintain and modelization are okay, but what is more important is you want to create a structure into a program. You want to have a program uh, where you can abstract out certain what do I call it? Certain parts of the program, or yeah, certain, you want to abstract out certain parts of the program or functionality of the program into different components, so that you can easily work on each of those components individually. And this is a this model view controller is, sorry to join late, actually I didn't know at today's class what I missed. Nilanjan, you have missed these two things. I was talking about authorization and authentication. Basically authorization is who are you, and authorization is what can you do. So access management is what authorization, what all you are authorized to do is authorization. And authentication is when I agree that the person you are claiming, uh, yeah, yeah, that's what I was discussing. And then I was discussing about model view controller. And in model view controller, I was talking about how you can structure your program. And most of the problems that you will see in architecture are best suited uh, for these pattern based thinking. Once you have a pattern, you can abstract out uh, based thinking. You can abstract out many functionalities of your system into well defined buckets, and then these buckets can then be used to solve the problems. Okay, so no video is gone. No, I was just quiet for some time. Sorry for that. Okay, no worries. Let's create these model view controllers for our coding our problem. We'll create a shorter, what is it called? Yeah, no, not this one. Stop sharing this. Every web application will have, there are other structures also which are not that common. There is also model view model, and there is a model. There are different ones also, but model view controller is very popular. Okay, so yeah, I'm creating in CRM app. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to create a new folder and I'll call it 6 and I'll call it building the CRM app uh, user registration and user login. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 20th of December. That should be good. Uh, why is this not a valid name for a folder? Did I create? Oh, colon should not be there. A colon. I didn't notice colon. So this is how you create it. And I'm going to open this. And now I'm going to build it from scratch. So first thing first would be to cd into 6 dot. No, cd into CRM app. And inside this, I'm going to do cd into 6 dot something. Inside this, I'm going to do npm init. This is going to initialize a node app anytime. Package name is going to be CRM app, and I'll name it as 1. And version will be just 1.0. That's good. Description, I'll write the description as, just give me 1 second, let me close this. I'll write uh, the description as model view template is where the view is very large and controller is very small. Anyways, uh, description is content from class on 20th December 2022. Entry point is Node.js. So again, we need to npm in this folder. Yes, you can go to this folder and do npm in it. We are going to start from starting. Test command we don't need. Git repo we don't need. Keywords we don't need. Author, say until is okay. License is ICSC. Okay, I'll just yes this. And now I have a vanilla app built for me. A package.json file is there and build is there. Now the next thing I need to do is I need to install some packages for this. One installation that I need to do is to install Express. Without Express, I cannot communicate, and I need Mongoose. So I'll just do npm. Somebody has said I is a good way. How to take path of that folder? How did you take path? I just did cd6 tab. So if I do cd dot dot, I go to the previous and I do cd 6 dot and tab. and that is going to take you to that folder. Okay, Anand, does that make sense? Tab is the key. The tab is the key you have to press. Okay, so now you have to install some modules. The first is node npm install mongoose, and the other module you need is express. I installed both of them. That should take some time while it is running. Okay, so now the code got installed. Now that's good. Now if I open my package.json, it contains this, and packet log.json, CRM app, registry, node module, crypto, AWS crypto, SDK. They have all those things. They have all kinds of modules. There should be a credential provider, IDM, node is there, process is there. All the modules that you need are here, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, what is the next step? Next step would be to create. I'll start with a very simple app to get started with, and then slowly and steadily I will build on top of it. Okay, so I'll start here, and I'm going to create a simple file, and I'll just call it app.js. Very simple. Inside this, I'll I'll get the I'll get the Express framework. I'll create a getter on the app, and that should be good. So I'll just do const express is equal to require. My video is gone. Is my video gone? No. I'm always scared if my video goes away. Anyways, so I'll just do require. I'll do express. Very good. Some of you, those of you who are getting MongoD as a required option, that is also a available option directly using MongoDB instead of using Mongoose, but it does not comes with all the bells and whistles that you get with Mongoose. Anyways, so you define express, and the next step would be to define something as const app as express app, and then you can do app.get app.get. Where do you get app.get at this string? What am I going to get? I'm going to talk about what I'm going to return. So I have request, comma response, and my response is going to be console. I can do console.log hello. So what I'm going to do is sorry, not console. I'll do response.send. Response.send. Hello. Very simple. It's a hello world program. It's a hello world program in Express. So that's how you write. And then all you need to do is app.listen. And can you first explain how will the flow of data in our login? how we plan to build it. Yeah, that is something I'm going to discuss just after this gets set up, because other students will take some time to set it up. In that time, I'll discuss how this data is running. Okay,
पैसा है ना
is that okay? Yeah, sure. So I'll listen at 3,000, and my callback will be just this console.log listening at localhost host 1000. I save this. I don't like this, so okay, maybe I can move this. So this is how you can write a simple program. It's fine to me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a node. I'll just uh, I'm going to do node app.js listening to localhost 3000. Okay. Now if I just go to localhost
कौन साउंड
3000,
देखो उधर कौन साउंड करो
I think it would be. I mean that. Okay, you can write it like that. That's okay. I can just go to. Can open this window. I can share the whole window, and I can just go to local host colon 3000 http https colon local host colon 3000 this
एक साला काटने आता है उधर ओपन ना किया
this is
लाइट
http. Let me try http.
ठंडा लग रहा है थोड़ा
What is the problem? Listening to localhost 3000. Oh, got it. Just write a / in front of this. Sorry. Let's remove this. http colon / localhost / 3000 / no no I want colon / I don't understand this simple. No, this would no that not working. So is it no localhost? Let me stop sharing.
वाओ गुड
Oh, I was making. I was
मयम तेरे पास है चार्जर
not // Yeah.
चार्जर
No.
चार्जर
Yeah. So there should not be // I was writing some extra slashes. It is working for me as well for at 3000. It's just colon 3000. So I'll go back to the CRM app, and it should not be slash 3000, it should be just 3000. Save this and run it again. Control C, run it again, and this is fine. Okay, so I'll refresh it, and this is working fine. So this is how you can create a basic app. Now, by the time all of you are just spending some time creating this app, let me talk about how we are going to deal with what we are going to work on today. So what we are going to do is we are going to define a model. We'll have a model. I'll show the code once. Not able to install Express. Why are you not able to install? What is the error you are getting, Vivek? Tell me the error. Showing. No, don't paste the error. Write what you understand about the error. Don't start a doubt on the error. I want you to write. I want you to be able to explain your errors in English. This is a very important skill that you need to learn. Otherwise, you will never be able to debug them on your own. You will always think there is some error. I don't know what it is, and you'll not be able to debug them. So try to assert something about the error. Try to say something about the error. What is the error? Why it is not working? And then probably I can help you. Okay. What is the error you are getting, Vivek? Same as yesterday. This is normal server creation code, right? Yeah, this is the basic server creation code. Yes, Deepak. Uh, Same as yesterday. What was the what was the error yesterday, Vivek? I don't remember. Did you run that? Did you run VS Code as administrator? Try to run VS Code as administrator. Yeah, try to run VS Code as administrator, and that. I mean, these are tricky errors in Windows. I don't know why I use Windows, but there's no reason, absolutely no reason to use Windows. Anyways, try to write this. He wants to. Karan Gupta. Karan Gupta, are you able to complete? Can I stop showing? Okay. So just take a screenshot if you have not completed, and I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. So what we are going to do is, in today's class, we are going to build three. We are going to. We are going to have three things. One is the model. Model is something which is how your user model, which is user collection should look like. Okay, that is your model. Then there will be a controller, which will help you put things into the model, and this will help you in putting user into the model. It will help you in this will help you in putting users into the model. It will help you in this will adding users. Add user will be there. There will be remove user. Password is valid, etc., etc. Okay. There will be a sign-in API. Okay. You need a sign-in API and you need a registration API. Okay. So these two APIs, signing and sign up. So these two APIs will be there in your controller. So we are going to discuss these two APIs. And the third thing that we are going to talk about is routers. We'll have some routers to go around in our app. Okay. This is the overview. Who was asking about the overview? Let me check. No. Avijit, is the overview clear to you? These are the things we are going to do today. We'll have a user model. What is that called? Mongoose.model. We'll have a users mongoose.model, which will help us in saving users. And we'll have a way to sign in a user and a sign up of a user. Avijit, yes, okay. And then we'll have routers that will point to different APIs on our. Um, we'll have a we'll have two APIs basically today. One will be the sign up API and one will be the sign in API. And those will be the two APIs that we will work on. Okay, so let's start building rest of the application. First, I'll start building the model and we'll try to use the model. So first thing first, I'll create a folder called as models and it will contain all the models that I am interested in. So I'll come here and I'll have a folder inside this folder which is called as models. I can also create views and controllers, but I'll just start with models. And this models folder will contain a file called as user. Okay, user model.js. So I'll have model, and inside this I'll have a file called as user. Yes, Likhit is saying something. Local is this correct? Yeah. Yes, correct. If HTTPS, if you're not getting. Yeah, that is true. Thank you, Anand. Okay, let me rename this. This will be user dot model dot js. Okay. How does the user model look like? First thing you will need the Mongoose framework. First thing you will need uh, Mongoose. For this you will just do require and Mongoose. Vivek has a doubt. What is the doubt? I'll just answer the doubt.
मरियम तेरा बोर्ड को इधर था ना प्लीज पहुंच जाएगा आधा दूर पहुंचता है खींचो ना तेरा हाथ जगह है ना सामने तेरा हाथ जगह है ना इसलिए मार मरियम नहीं घुसाना प्लीज हाथी को
Can you use PowerShell for this, Vivek? I don't understand why there is Ming GW64 in front of this. Can you use PowerShell and paste the same code?
थैंक यू
Oh, did you do? And he has done npm init because there is package.json and index.js. Have you? Okay, yeah. Yes, he has done node npm init. Okay. I'll go back to my code. I don't know what this Ming GW is. Why it is showing up in your here in your terminal. So Windows has tricky errors. Those of you who are very serious about getting a job or who really want to do something in programming, make sure you learn Linux because Windows will cause errors which you will not be able to solve very easily. And advantage of Linux over Windows, yeah, npm update is a good idea. Linux you can do a lot of development very easily, and And the second thing is, so it's like this. In Windows, everything looks, Windows give you an impression that things are working fine. Okay, but if something breaks, you don't know where it is broken. You don't understand how it is working properly. But if you are using Linux, you know how the things are working. Only condition is that you are reading properly. You are reading what is on your screen. If you are reading what is on your screen, Linux is best. Okay, sir. But some people, MacBook can tell why. MacBook, if you have money, you can use MacBook. If you have lots of money, you can use MacBook. But uh, but if you are serious about development, and those of you who want to go into, those of you who want to get into data science, make sure you uh, get a Linux computer. Okay. Data science is simply not advisable to do data science on Windows, or for that matter on MacBook also. Okay. Yeah. So first thing is we need to define a schema for our user, and can you? Okay, same issue is coming. Uh, Let me check. Just give me a few minutes. Let me check this error. Unable to verify leave signature. Unable to verify leave, leave signature. NPM error. Windows.
किनार तरफ सोया है हीरो।
कितना देखिए बते जिंदा दिन 9 बजे भगवान जी से क्या होता है इसके कपड़े उसका हाथ का है नहीं मशीन में टूट गया ऐसे जो बदमाश नहीं करते कटा गया है हाथ पर दोनों कटा गए पैर भी नहीं है हाथ तो नहीं दिख रहे
Okay. I'm going to just wait for a few seconds. Uh, I don't know. It's fine. No. Vivek, I know this is the second time which is happening with you. Let me tell you what you need to do. Try doing this. npm config. This is because your SSL certificate is there's some problem with the certificate. So try doing this. npm config set strict SSL strict SSL as false. Do this. Uh, Hello? Vivek, can you write this? Hello? Okay. npm config set strict SSL false. That is first step. Second step is npm cache clean force. npm cache clean force. Can you do this, Vivek? And tell me what is going on. Have you done both the commands? Now reopen the terminal and try to install Express. It should work. Vivek, did it work? Hello? Just run these two commands. Trying to. Okay. Run these two commands, and by that time, I'll start creating the model that I was talking about. So once you're done with the two commands in Express, just let me know. User.model. So we have a file called user.model. In this, we have mongoose.schema. In this schema, we'll have name. It will have its own schema, which is type will be string and required will be true. So name should be there. If name is not there, schema will not work. It is usually a good idea to write a comma afterwards. This also. Then user ID. This comma is why new keyword used here? Because you are creating a new schema. Mongoose schema is an object. You are creating a new object of Mongoose schema. Have you reopened that? Okay. What is that? You are getting the same error, Vivek. SSL certificate. Oh. Then I'm not sure. Oh, what happened? I'm not sure about it. Sorry. Okay. So, we have not used yesterday. We have used it yesterday. I can show it to you. If I go to Mongoose and I go index.js, I have used. Oh, I have not used new. Why have I not used new? I'm not sure about that. In JavaScript, if there is a difference. Let me check. Difference. Okay, maybe new. Just give me 1 second. Let me check. So if I do Mongoose schema, it's also going to create an object. Okay, let me do it with Mongoose schema. Then I'll see why it does not. If it does not work, then we'll check it. Type is going to be string and required would be true and unique would be true. I don't like there's a space after these. New key. I'm not sure about the new keyword. This is a class, so ideally it should have a new keyword. But if I don't use a new keyword, then also it is working. So, no, that's not true. I mean, both of them can be done. Okay, let me check. Let me check it. I've never thought about it, so yeah. I'll just comment this. I'll define a class hello, and in this class I'll have a constructor. Say it's just console.log hello, and come here and do const new hello is equal to hello. I save this and I run this. Class hello cannot be invoked without new. This class cannot be invoked without new. So that's what I was thinking. Since it's a class, it should not be invoked without new. If I just remove this and I save this, I guess I can evoke this. Yeah, it can be evoked. So it is class-like thing. It's a thing which is similar to a class. It is a function which is similar to a class. Okay. So these are what do you call? These are first class functions in JavaScript, which are like objects but similar to object but like functions. So we need new keyword. Here we don't need new keyword. You don't need a new keyword to write this. Even if you write, that's not a problem. Both of them will compile. If you write a new keyword, it will work out. If you don't write, that will also work out because it is both a function and a class. Okay. Anyways, so this was user ID and you have password. This is type string and required is true. And finally, we have email. Which is also type of string required as yeah. There are some more test cases about this. There is one thing which is lowercase, should be a lowercase string, should be a lowercase string, and it should be unique. It should be true. There's one more that is given in the text, but which is min length. No, length should be 10. I'll not take a email address less than 10 letters. But email letters can be less than 10 letters, so I don't like this, but since it is there, I don't want to touch it. Otherwise, later on, it might have problems. So, and you have name, user ID, password, email. There is something more. There's created created at is of type date. Date is a type which is present in. So the properties defined inside name are these predefined, and can we use any name? Can we set min length for password? Yes, you can set min length for password. What is meant by constructor function as its prototype? What is meant by constructor function as a prototype? So, okay, yeah, this concept of prototypes in JavaScript. So what happens is I can define a function and then I can have prototypes on top of it. Okay, I'll show you how it works. So most of the code that you write. Yeah. Is email confused? Is email as true? No, the current I'm not sure is email is present or not. Nilanjan is the property inside. Yes, properties are no, these are defined by Mongoose schema. Okay. Nilanjan, these are properties that are saved in Mongoose schema. I cannot use something like ABC and think it will work. So this is a schema object. So if I write something like this and I try to run this, if I run this, oh, I'm not sure why it run. When I do, his email is valid. Okay, I was not aware of that. Required true. Okay, so what is required true is okay. I'll come to this ABC in few minutes. Required true means that whatever object you are saving, you are going to it should have these fields. Without these fields, yeah, these are predefined keywords. That is true. You have seen them in the schema lecture that I have taken. Can we use sequelize? No, you cannot use sequelize with MongoDB. Aradhya. Okay, what is this and why we are writing? Sir, go with is email. Okay, I'll use. I don't mind that. Is email. Because that means this should be. These are properties, and it means that this should be there. When I write is email true, it means that this email field that I am passing in my object should be, yes, sequelize is only for SQL DBs. That is right. Vivek, when I'm saying is email as true, that I'm saying what I mean by that is this email address should be of types, or it should follow the type of an email address. When I say that it is of type string, I'm saying that email I'm getting is at object. I'm getting a string type here. When I said required, it means there should be an email address in my document. If there is no email address, I will not accept that document. I will not let you write that document. If when I say lowercase, it means the whole string should be in lowercase. If there is any uppercase letter, I will not let you write. So those are the checks or validations that I am performing on each of the fields. And these fields are for my user object. Okay? Okay, sure. Why is email? Is email is a field that according to Karan will work out. So is email is a field which will check if the given string is email or not. Okay. So they're all predefined. Yeah, they are all predefined. We are not defining them. Okay, Suraj. Now we have create at, which is date, and I'm writing something as immutable. You cannot change this field. No matter what, you cannot change this field. If you try to change this field, I'll throw an error. It is set to a default value, which is set to, which is a function from current value to return. I just do date.now. What role created? What role created at? What role does create I mean, it tells you when the user was created in our database. What was the time when our user registered? So, for example, if you have seen lead code or maybe GitHub, it says you are on GitHub for last 3 years or last 4 years. Similar function will created at will play. It will tell you how long the user have been in the system. Okay, Suraj? Yeah. Updated at. Here I'm just going to do type is date and required and default is again date or now. So will it automatically catch the creation time? Yes, it will catch at the creation time. It will automatically catch errors at the creation time. Okay. Every time you don't specify update at, I'm going to save it as date of current date. Whenever I'm updating my data, I'm going to save that date. And user type, need a user type, which is basically going to tell you what type of user I am having. Okay. You have a string. There are multiple types of users. You have admin, you have developers, and you have customers. So I'll define the default value as default is what you are going to save if nothing is provided. Sometimes when you make a field as required and then you don't provide a value, whatever is the value of the default, that will be taken up. Okay. And user status, this is the status for developers. Okay. Whenever there's a developer, you need a way to need the admin to accept the request. Okay. And default value, now you might be asking this a question about, you remember the API I discussed in the first lecture? What all APIs I'm going to build on top of this? Do you remember? We had an API for creating users and signing them in. Do you want a short refresher on that? Let's do a short refresher on that in 2 minutes. That's gonna give you the overall picture of this. Okay. Now the final line you have in this is module dot exports is equal to mongoose dot model user scheme. Okay, now let me talk about, so I'll just pause this here and I'll just talk to you about prototype functions. Okay, what is prototype function? And I'm going to use a lead code example for this. Yes, explain user type. I'm going to, it will make sense. It will make sense in few minutes. So immutable is something that cannot be changed. Let me go to lead code and explain you something about prototypes. Okay. So if I go to any problem and if I click on size. Yeah. So I click on this option. Okay. If I do say JavaScript, this is how JavaScript writes. This is how JavaScript writes. No, this is not a good problem to explain. Let me explain another problem. Let me see. Let me click on a design problem first. So I'll expand this and I'll go to design. And inside design, I'll look at a problem. Let's look at min stack. Okay, in this problem, if I look at JavaScript, there is something called as prototype. Min stack is a function, and then I can define bunch of prototype functions on top of it. These functions are attached to the object min stack. So function is also an object inside JavaScript. Okay, and I can define a constructor for this function, min stack function, and that is going to return the min stack object. So that is what that prototype is doing. Does that make sense, Nilanjan? Who was asking that question? Likhit was asking, I guess. You can define prototype objects like this. Likhit? These are functions that are attached to objects. And they're a combination of function and Likhit? Does that make sense? No? Yes? Yes, okay. What will be the possible value of user stated? It will be either pending or approved. There are two values. And I'm going to explain this now. Just give me 1 second. Now I'm going to add some slides here. From my computer, I'll upload a file. Browse the file. And re-level intro. This. Let me see. Open this. Okay, this is the right file that I accidentally hit the right file. So we were discussing about CRM a few days back, and now I'm going to talk about I'm going to revise those concepts. There are admins, there are users, and there is application. This is this. Okay. So now you have three kinds of users: customers, admins, and engineers. Engineers and admins registration will be supported to be approved by the admin. Engineers and admins need to be approved by the admin. Customer registration will be supported through API with no approval needed, so any customer can register. API supports admin login. API call should return the access token, which will be, so you have admin login, customer login, engineer login, which will return access tokens that we need. So we are going to talk about access tokens later on. I'm not going to talk in the next class. We'll talk about access token. And login API will succeed if engineer registration requests have been approved by admin and proper error message in case admin has not approved or rejected the registration request. So today we are going to talk about sign in and sign up, and later on we'll talk about approval and other things. Okay. So these 2 points are what we are going to discuss. Now you understand what are the statuses that what can be the user status? Pending or approved? Approved, rejected, pending, all of these. Okay, Satyendra? You remember, understand the application better now? CRM app? Satyendra, are you able to understand why we need user status? Yeah, okay. So that's what we need. Then we will get let's have a break, Weber. That is a good idea. You have asked at the right time. I was thinking about it 1 minute back, but let's have a break. Break till. Yeah, I'm going to push the code. Yeah. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Is there? Sir, there is customer engineer admin. Then we are setting customer as default. Yeah. That we are setting customer as default because most of the time there will be a customer who will be logging in. Therefore, we are serving customer as the default. If nothing is specified, you can think of it as customer. Okay. This is the code that I am adding. I cannot show the whole code in one window. I'm sorry for that. but I'm going to push the code now, and then you can check out the code. So I'll go to CRM app. This is the CRM app, and in this I'll do added user model. Coming to main. User type is the type of user you have. Remember, user type is admin, customer, or engineer or developer. Remember, Suraj, engineer, user. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what user type is. User history. So we have created the model. Try to look into the model for some time. Try to run some commands to add the model or do something with the model. I'll also run this codes to show you that it is actually working. The code is working. It is not doing anything, but we have our model. Once we come back, we are going to create our controllers, and finally we will create our routers that are going to solve the whole problem. Now we'll take a break till 9:36 p.m. I'll see you at 9:36 p.m. Make sure you work on the code for some time, or maybe have dinner now. Okay, sure. Thank you guys. I'll be back in 15-18 minutes.
बिहान के 8 बजे ले यहाँ रात के लाइन है 8 बजे बाबू कहते हम तो कोको देगा बोल रहे हैं कोको देते नहीं किया माँ लंबा लंबा वाला खाना दिया था मीठा सब दिया था सब मिला था पर कोको नहीं मिला था कहते अरे भगत स्कूल के अंडा मांस मछली स्कूलों में लेके मना करें हाँ अपना घर में खा लेकिन स्कूल में लाना नहीं है कहीं कहीं है आगे तो कागे बना बोलेगा पूरी मंदिर है लेकिन कहीं कहीं मांस नहीं लेता हूँ कितने से जमा भी करवाएगा काजे शायद कोई हर उन्हें बार हपाई हुई जन पर समझ जगह है कि कहले कोनो हेर मिले रहेंगे हाँ पानी बुड़बुड़ और पानी में इतना ठंडा में रे कूद के खेल के छुपा मन तो बेहाल ना ठंडा में उल्दा था मोर खनका सबके कहते दोस्त ड्रेस में जाए खा पिट्टी वाला में और एक एक सेट कपड़ा भी दारे खाए का रुसन खेल में से के जान थे डाइल दे के बदल के लेंगे ठीक है जगह है कि क्या फोटो मन में ठीक है दिखे पूरा टक्का टुकू भी है बालू भी है नदी भी छुआ मन ठीक है इसन रेखमा मिक्स लगा रेखमा पर तो टक्का टुकू मन ना के बालू है बीच में तो ऊपर साइड में है तबे असीम ठीक है लगले देख रे नींद आत से के उठ ही दिलो देखा किसने देख राइस के ताकास चल से चला की के जेल तोरे का करम ले छी का में लागी रे